Hello and welcome to episode 79 of Daryl Show Your Work. So in this video, I'll be doing some web application scanning with the WMAP tool. All right, so before I do so, this is a red teaming a video. So anytime I do any sort of offensive security, I like to preface it with a disclaimer that this is for ethical research and educational purposes only, that any malicious actions that may directly or indirectly come from someone watching my video, I do not take responsibility for, nor do I condone. All right. So to give a high level definition of what WMAP is, it's a powerful web application vulnerability scanner that can be used to automate web server enumeration and to scan web applications for vulnerabilities. So it's available as a Metasploit framework plugin and can be loaded directly into it. So due to it being fully integrated into the Metasploit framework, the WMAP is allowed to allows the web app vulnerability scanning within that framework. So, and long story short, we have to boot up the Metasploit framework in order to get this running. It doesn't run independently out of it, but it is a very powerful tool because it integrates so much of its modules into a scan. And I'm going to forewarn you that one of these scans does take a very long time, so you may want to fast forward the video when we get to that part. But I'll kind of give you a warning once we get there. All right. So to start off, as usual, let's find out what my IP address is. So I'm gonna say ifconfig. All right, so we look at Ethernet one interface. So I am 192.91.47.2. All right, so let's copy that. All right, and now I want to be able to find a target on my local network. All right, so as usual, I'm going to do a fping to do a to scan my network. All right, and then let's see, let's paste my then we're going to say 0/24 to give it my CIDR. All right, so this is going to scan the entirety of my local network to see what other machines are running. All right, we can see that .1, the gateway's running. I'm running .2, so .3, as usual, is our target. All right, let's see. Still trying to scroll down here, and I can't scroll down. Well, let's see something. Okay, I had to clear that. I'm not sure what happened there. All right, so probably because my zoomed in on here, that's probably why I couldn't see where the list ended. All right, anyway, so I'm going to start up the first. I got to start up the PostgreSQL database, and then I'm going to start up the MSF console, which is the Metasploit framework. All right, so well. Start, and then I'm gonna knock out two birds with one stone by combining those two commands. All right, so let's get started. All right, so it's starting up the PostgreSQL database for me, and then it should also be starting up the MSF console in the background. Here we go. All right, so now that we're in Metasploit, I'm going to create a workspace for myself. So I'm going to say workspace -A to create it, and I'm gonna call it WMAP. All right, so I'm going to set the target as a global parameter, so I don't have to do it again. even though I shouldn't be using, well, no, I am actually going to use some other tools besides WMAP. So let's do that. All right. All right, so let's change that from a 2 to a 3. All right. So hold on, I may need to zoom out here because I'm zoomed in. Okay. All right. All right. Let me see. Hold on. Is that, do I want it there? That should be good. Okay. All right, just want to make sure everyone can see what I'm doing here. All right, so the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm actually going to load WMAP, and to do so is exactly what I said. Load WMAP. Since we're in the again we're in the Metasploit framework, just simply typing that in is going to load that WMAP plugin. All right, so I've loaded up WMAP. All right. So now that I've got that loaded, there's quite a few things that I could do from here. So the first thing that I need to do is I need to specify a site. So the site is that target IP. So I'm going to say WMAP underscore sites dash A, and then I'm going to give it our target IP. All right. And then, yeah, let me clean this up a little bit because I'm going to go to clear. All right. Let's clear that up. Okay. All right. So now that we specified that, don't worry because I'm going to bring all that back up so we can just see the status of everything. So I'm going to say WMAP and map underscore targets. All right. And when doing this, I have to actually specify the actual URL that I wanted to target, and also I can also add, specify particular directories under that URL. But we're just going to just go for the basic URL here, and I'm not going to add any subdirectories. So I'm just going to say, in order to specify that, I'm going to say -t, and then HTTP, and then give it our target address. That 3. All right. All right. So now we can just check to make sure that those parameters are set. In order to do that, I can first check the our target site by saying WMAP sites dash L. All right. And so we can see that our target our target host is listed there. And then I could also list out our target HUL. I'm doing let's see, it didn't like that. You know what? Didn't add an S. Okay. Syntax is everything. Okay, there we go. So and it's telling us that both are telling us that it's utilizing port 80, and that is, which is HTTP, and this tells us too that there's no SSL certificate, which is already some interesting information up front. All right. So the next thing that I want to do is I want to be able to list out all the available um, auxiliary scanners that we're going to use against our target host. All right, to be able to look for vulnerabilities. So I'm going to list that out, and it's going to be a very long, exhaustive list just to give you some forewarning here. So says WMAP, and then we want to say, see, we want to run it, but we only want it to, I'm going to say .t because we're not going to execute. We just want to be able to see those modules. And give this a few seconds to load up everything. So we're about at the part where it's going to take actually some minutes um, for all of these modules to run. It should be about around like 39 different modules that's going to run. So so yeah, you may when we get to that point, we're going to have to fast. You may have to fast forward because you're just going to be sitting here waiting for results. May have misjudged how long this one takes as well. So let's see. Yeah, this one's going to take quite a while too. So yeah, you may want to fast forward this one to when I actually start running the well after at least it loads up all the modules and I can kind of walk through some of the modules it's going to run. There we go. Okay. All right. Let's see. Was it done running? Let's see. I'm going to reduce the zoom here just to see where we are. Okay, it says done, but you're not giving me a cursor. Okay, hold on and wait for that cursor to appear. All right, well, while I'm waiting for the cursor to come back here, so just to view some of the scanners. So it's going to give us. We have the HTTP version, which I ran in a previous video. So it's going to come back and tell us what version of HTTP is using simple enumeration, and then also we go down a little bit here. Um, it's going to do some brute forcing attacks just to be able to see that, hey, if it can access certain directories and be able to put certain be able to put a test be able to put files in certain directories, which is a bad vulnerability to have, because if you can, then that means an attacker can easily upload a malicious file there and execute it, or just place it there. They shouldn't even have the ability to even place it there. Okay, there we go. Okay, all right. So let me zoom in a bit more. First, let's clear this out. Okay, type clear. All right. So now this is where I actually run all of these modules, all of those modules we saw listed. I'm going to actually run it against our target, and that's going to take some time. So about maybe, I don't know, 5 or 6 minutes. We'll see. But I just remember when running through this before, it did take some time, just to give you a heads up. So you may want to fast forward this after I execute this command right here. So I'm gonna say WMAP run dash E for execute, and again, so it's going to execute all of those auxiliary modules that we saw. It's gonna run them all against our target and give us back a list of things that's vulnerable and not vulnerable to. All right, so I'm gonna hit enter. All right, so already while it's doing this thing, I could kind of run through here and tell us what's going on. So the first thing to note here is that this first module, all right, so with the HTTP version, is giving us back the version of the HTTP protocol that is running, which is Apache 2.5 18. All right. So going back down a little bit more, this is probably the most interesting part here. It tells us the methods that is allowed within the directories of this um, web server. So it allows post, options, get, and head methods. So that's something that we need to keep in mind because that has a lot to do with how users are able to interact within those directories. Again, as far as getting and putting information within directories. All right, and then it also looks like it just found some directories here. It looked like it found a data data directory and a secure directory. So that's interesting to know that is finding different directories. So it's still going on. We look down here. So it looks like it's found some other directories too, /doc/pro. So any place where we see green, that's it's coming back as it's found these subdirectories. All right, so these are some other subdirectories that is found here. All right, so if we take a look here, this is another interesting but hold on, let me see. Well, let's keep looking because I want to be able to find if it's able to successfully put files in those directories in the root directory. And it looks like this is a reference to the root directory, but I don't see a method that's used that would indicate whether it was able. It tried to do a put method, or a put a post method, which would indicate that it's able to put a file into a directory remotely. All right. And every place where we see a 200 return code, that means that it was about this is the brute force the file brute force attack, where basically it's using a word list to find common file names with that may be within the server. So when it's giving us that 200 return code, that means it's successfully found these file names within the web server. So every place we see 404, that means that it did not find that file name. Any place where it says 200 and it gives us a green plus sign, that means it successfully found those file names. So that's what's happening here. It's conducting a file brute force attack, file name brute force attack. So if we wanted to target particular files or wanted to know the existence of particular files, it's confirming that for us. So we still got a little ways to go, but it shouldn't be too much longer. Use some other files that I found. Okay, so here we are. So this is what I was looking for. So it used the auxiliary scanner for HTTP put, which basically tests if if it takes a test file and tries to upload it to the target host within a directory there, and that basically tests if someone's able to remotely send a file, upload a file to that server. So it looks like, and it tried to do it to the root directory. So it looked like when it tested that in the root directory, that it came back as files doesn't seem to exist. The upload probably failed. So it looks like actually the root directory the root directory does not allow that. But I want to test that further to see if I can try that with another directory that it found during the scan, and the scan is actually over. So it actually didn't take as long as I thought it would. All right, so let me clear this out. All right, so one thing that we got to remember though, let's remember this tool right here, because I'm going to come back to this and I'm going to use this in a few. This HTTP put tool. All right. All right. So the thing that I want to do next is I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna clear this, and I want to be able to take all the information that it found and saved from the scan and list the vulnerabilities. All right, so I'm gonna say WMAP underscore bones and dash for listing it out. All right, so it's gonna give me a list of everything that it found. All right, so it's basically just giving me back directories that it's found. So it's nothing really juicy here on this list as far as anything that I would look to really exploit. Other than the actual like I said, the actual using the put command with one of these found directories, which um which I'm actually going to do now. So let me see. Let's see. So I'm going to run. Let's see. I'm going to say use auxiliary scanner. Let me see when use the HTTP protocol and option. All right. And I want to use this auxiliary scanner to see what options are allowed within a particular directory. And I think I'm gonna target that data. We saw a data and secure directory first, so I think I want to target. Let me go to show options first. Maybe getting ahead of myself here. Okay, let's run this before we target that data directory. All right, so everything looks like it's set there. So let's run it. Okay, so this confirms what we saw in the test that the post options, get and head methods are indeed allowed. Okay, so I want to be able to test that the put and the post method are very similar. So if it allows one, it should allow the other. So I want to test that out. So I'm going to use that exact auxiliary tool that we saw mmap use, and I'm going to say use auxiliary scanner HTTP, and it was HTTP underscore put. All right. All right. So I know I'm probably gonna have to make some changes there. So let's say show options. Okay. So action. So it's doing the put. So let's see what happens. It should give me, if I run this, the everything that's in the default, it should give me that same error that it gave me when WMAP ran automated it and ran it automatically. So I'm gonna just say exploit. And before I do that, I want to tell you what's going on here. So basically how this works is going to take this test file that's under file name, and it's going to put it within a specified directory with that I tell the module here. So it's already set to root by default. All right. And it failed to do so during the mmap scan. So I just want to test this out manually. All right. And then if it does successfully puts this into a directory, then it should then also it's going to give me back what's going to show me what's inside. I'm gonna run a command to show what the contents of this file is, which the contents of what's inside of msf http put test.txt is the statement msf test file. All right. So let's try to run this and let's see what happens. All right, so it gave me that same message. Doesn't seem to exist. The upload probably failed. So that lets me know there's some sort of protection on the root on the in the root directory that's not allowing me to do that. But I want to test a different directory, so I'm going to set the path. Let's set that to data. All right, and it looks like that's all I need to adjust here to test that out. All right, now let's test it again. So I'm gonna write exploit again and let's see what happens. All right, so it looks like that file was uploaded. So if I want to see, if I actually want to see that file within that directory, I could do curl http and then see, let's give it the target address, and then I need to give it the target port. And then the actual directory. And then let's see, the file name was msf underscore http put test.txt. So given that the file is actually in the data directory on this on our target host, it should show me the output of this particular file. All right, so I'm gonna hit enter. All right, so we can see that we have that output MSF test file. All right, so and it's just showing us like the speed of the upload and everything like that. But basically, it's confirming that it was successful. So let's say that I wanted to change up the file. Let's say if I wanted to, I'm not going to put anything malicious in here, but let's say I wanted to change the nature of the file that I'm uploading. So let's say I'm going to set the file name to uh, this underscore works dot txt. All right, and I want to set the file data. So what's actually in that file, I want to say set file data to let's say this does work. All right. So if I'm an actual attacker, I can name this file anything I want, and then I could put a reverse shell inside of where it says file data here. This is where I would put in whatever reverse shell code that I want to put into here and put it in that text document, or what if I wanted to make it an executable file, I would put it in, I would have named this, gave it an executable extension, and then filled this file with the file data with actual some sort of reverse shell or something malicious. All right, so I'm gonna hit enter, and so let's see if this still works after I modified things a bit. So I'm gonna say exploit. All right, so it looks like this underscore works.txt did indeed upload to the data directory. All right, so let's see if we can view the output of that file. All right, so this works. And bam, we can see the output right here. This does work. All right. And then we see all the statistics associated with the run. All right. So that pretty much brings me to the end of my video here, just to give a high level explanation of what was accomplished. So of course I used the ifconfig to find my local IP address, and then I used fping to do basically a scan of my network to see who was up. All right, what other devices were up and running. So I found my target host. I started up the Metasploit framework, and loaded the WMAP application scanning, web application scanning plugin. So from there, I ran some commands where basically I had to specify my site, which is the target host, and then my actual my targets, which was the actual URL to that takes us to that IP address. So that could have very easily been a host name too, or a website name. So it didn't necessarily have to be a redundant entry, such as the IP address again. And it could have been a specific directory if I was targeting a directory at that time. And then so we also ran a some commands just to check to see that those were properly set. And then once they were, I ran a command for us to see all the different um, auxiliary scanners that WMAP would be running against our target host. And then once we got that list, then I actually executed it, and it performed some scans, which it did a variety of tasks like some enumeration of the version of HTTP it was using, which was Apache. And then it also attempted some brute force attacks where it was able to find some directory names and able to verify the existence of some files. But the most important thing that we found out of that were the different methods that it allowed users. Most importantly, that get and put method. So, but we found that when it when targeting the root directory, that that post method wasn't allowed using the HTTP put auxiliary scanning tool. So I manually tried to replicate it again, and I got the same result. So then I decided to aim it at another directory that was found during the scan, which was a data directory, and found that I actually could exploit that vulnerability there, which it did. So that particular um, directory did not have the same level of protections that the root directory did. So I exploited that by first uploading a test file to verify that that indeed works. And then once I verified that, then I uploaded my own file, which didn't contain anything malicious since it was all just a test. But I could have put some reverse shell code in there or some other malicious code in there to do whatever I wanted to do to that target host. All right, so that's why it's good to remember to have a consistent level of security, not just on a root level, but on all levels within your servers, especially a public-facing a web server that can easily be targeted by those visiting your site. So please like, share, and subscribe. Most importantly, show your work. And until next time, take care of yourself and God bless.